What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the first episode of ENA. We got time for this NFL season. I know we've been out for a while, but look, we're back in full effect. If you're new to the channel, you haven't subscribed already, and you're new, here's what we're doing. Each week, we're going to go ahead, we're going to give out a prediction video, right? So we're going to go through all the games right fast, and we're just going to say, all right, look, this is who we got winning and why. Give y'all updates on, some important players and some important news throughout the week. Pretty much, that's what we're gonna do on these weekly videos. We're gonna try and get some more stuff for y'all. Maybe do a couple of live games, maybe some playoff games, maybe just some behind the scenes stuff on how we, get everything done. But the way to win the weekly money is you gotta subscribe to the channel, right? You gotta comment whoever you think gonna win that week on that video. So you can comment every single game you want. It's whoever gets the most games right. So, and what we do is you got to pick a game with a tiebreaker just in case you get 10 games right and somebody else gets 10 games right. There's no discrepancy. So you got to give one game with a total score. So you got to tell me a game where it's going to be 30-27 total score. It's going to be, 57. Let's say, it's 57. You say 60, and somebody else says like 70. And whoever's closest, that's who won the bread, just to get all that out the way. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in to week 1 of the NFL 2021 season. We starting off with the Cowboys. All right, first off, this is a bad game. Best offensive line is out. It's an 8-point spread. It's Dak's first game back in, about 11 months. I got it 33-14 Tampa. That's just my opinion. I think it'll be close to that. Next up, my favorite team, as y'all already know, we got the Broncos at Giants. Teddy Bridgewater, he is what I think he's a real good game manager. Not taking nothing away from him. But the Giants, we have all the skilled position players playing, and we did have a top 10 defense. So I think that's going to have something to do with also Pat Shermer's coming back to New York. He, if you don't know, was the Giants' old offensive coordinator. So I'm sure they're game planning for what he's going to bring. And I think this game is going to come down to defense and who can get more turnovers. So I got the Giants in this game 24-21. It's not going to be, I don't have it with a big blowout or nothing. Next up, we got the Eagles at Falcons. I think this is battle for the worst team in their respective divisions. I'm not too big on the Eagles or Atlanta. I think Kyle Pitts is going to be incredible. I'm still not incredibly sold on Devontae Smith, but I'm curious to see how those numbers pan out against, in my opinion, two equally bad defenses. Also, the Eagles picked up Gardner Minshew, which I thought was pretty interesting. I think he's a pretty decent quarterback. I think given the right situation, he could maybe start in this league. So can Jalen Hurts hold off Gardner Minshew is a question that I think maybe midseason we might have to revisit. And also, the Eagles have taken receivers pretty high in drafts with Jalen Reagor and Devontae Smith. If they were ever to take advantage of a bad defense, I think this would be the game they can put it all together and at least have some glimmer of hope to start the season. But I do have Atlanta winning 30-21 just with the experience of Matt Ryan. Next up, we got Steelers at Bills. Steelers in for world of trouble to start the season off. They've had a lot of offensive linemen leave. And we're not talking about just regular old guys. We're talking about possible Hall of Famers, All-Pros, and Pro Bowlers. So that's not going to help. Also, Big Ben has never been mobile, so it's not really – that doesn't help him at all. I like the new running back they got, but if you don't have a great offensive line to help that running back, you're kind of setting them up for failure. Also, T.J. Watt, he's concerned about his money. They say he might hold out. He might not. I don't know. Also, if you didn't know who this guy is, Gregory Rozier, the defensive end that the Bills took from my favorite college team, Miami. I can always mess his name up for some reason. I think he has a chance to be Defensive Player of the Year. I watched him in the preseason. He looked really good, in my opinion. So I think, being as though Big Ben's a statue, I think he might flash, week 1 for y'all. And also, can Josh Allen repeat the great year he had last year? It's also going to be a question. Is he going to be a one-hit wonder or not? But I say for this game, the Bills win pretty clear, 24-13. Next up, we got Vikings at Bengals. I've heard a lot of talks about how bad Joe Burrow has been as far as in practice due to various different reasons. Just people being at his feet and how nervous he probably is to get hurt again. I know the Bengals didn't necessarily do a good job of, protecting him through the draft. They decided to get Jamar Chase, who through preseason looked a little shaky, but to most people, it's just preseason, so it's not too much to be worried about. But I know a lot of people, are concerned about his drops, which is understandable. Some of those plays were pretty simple catches. Some of them were legit business decisions, so I understand where he was coming from. So also, I think one of the biggest X factors in this game that a lot of people aren't thinking about or looking at is Justin Jefferson going to go through a sophomore slump. He lit the league up last year. I don't think the Bengals really have that great of a secondary to begin with. They're okay, but they're not world beaters. I think Thielen, Dalvin Cook, and Jefferson can have their way with them. So I got this game, unfortunately, being 17-6. Vikings. Next up, we got 49ers at Lions. Now, before I dig into this game, I just want to say this. I have the 49ers handily beating the Lions. I have the 49ers pretty much manhandling them. But the biggest takeaways and the biggest concerns I have for this game is how does Kittle return? How does Bosa return? How does Goff look without such a great supporting cast around him? And can Jimmy G hold off Trey Lance, and for how long can he do it? So I would say if you're a 49er fan, don't get too overzealous over this win y'all getting, because I don't believe that Detroit is that good of a team at all. Then rebuilding, Jared Goff's really never played with the level of talent that's going to be around him in Detroit. So I expect them to struggle to start the year off. I got the 49ers win this game 30-14. Next up, we got Cardinals at Titans. We got Buda Baker and Isaiah Simmons versus King Henry and company. I think this should be very entertaining. If Isaiah Simmons was ever going to earn his money, not earn his money, so say earn his draft stock and how far he thought he should have gotten drafted, this will be the game. Derrick Henry, we all know about his stiff arm and what he can do to a lot of big men out there. Isaiah Simmons, you possess the speed, the strength, the size. You got to do something about that. Also, Julio is not to be played with. They also have A.J. Brown. I love Josh Reynolds when he was with the Rams, so I'm curious to see how he carves out his role there. I don't really believe Arizona's secondary world beaters. I know Patrick P., he's kind of been on the downslope. He's getting a little older, maybe lost a step or two, but I still believe even with him being in that secondary, I never believed that they were, a top unit in my opinion, as far as secondary. But the Titans also don't really have a secondary, so I really see this game really turning into a shootout if you ask me. But because the Titans have such a strong run game, I'm going to go with Titans 27-21. That's how I'm calling it. Next up, we got Seahawks at Colts. I really like this game, fantasy purposes. I do have Jonathan Taylor in the draft. Seahawks defense has been not that good. But anyway, we're gonna get back on topic. Carson Wentz. With the team that is around you, you really can just be a slightly above game manager. Phillip Rivers, he did great with them last year, and he is not mobile, and I don't think he has an arm talent that Carson Wentz possesses. Also, I believe that the Colts are just an overall more sound team than the Seahawks, but the Seahawks have Russell Wilson, they have DK Metcalf, they have Tyler Lockett, and they have a slew of good running backs over there. I'm really liking. I think if the Seattle defense can just put pressure on Carson Wentz, they don't have to get a whole bunch of sacks, a whole bunch of hits, but just be present around him, I think they'll win this game. So I got the Seahawks win a very, very close game, 24-21. Next up, we got Cardinals at Washington. As everybody knows, and Fitzmagic is back, so let's see how long this lasts. Also, with Herbert winning Rookie of the Year, is he going to go through a sophomore slump? Also, is Samuel going to play? Big wide receiver that Washington sought out to get, playing with his former college teammates, so that should be pretty fun to watch. But I just have to go Chargers in this. I'm not sold on Ryan Fitzpatrick. Maybe this is the one game he goes for, 300-400 yards and does great. But I'm going with the chemistry of the Chargers, them coming into the season fully healthy. I just like what I see there. So I got the Chargers 21-17. Next up, we got Jets at Panthers. Now, I like this. I'm really interested in this game just for the simple fact Sam Darnold and Robbie Anderson finally back together. And if you don't know, Sam Darnold and Robbie Anderson played together with the Jets. He's part of the reason why Robbie Anderson got his big payday. They had a really nice chemistry together. Christian McCaffrey's back. I just think the Jets, they're still rebuilding. Yes, the quarterback, Zach Wilson, looked good in preseason, but we really don't know exactly what we'll see. I like the offense that they're trying to put around him, but I think overall Sam Darnold's a more experienced quarterback, obviously, and I think he has the better team put around him. So I'm going with the Panthers 21-10. Next up, we got Jaguars at Titans. I think these are going to be the two worst teams in the AFC. We all know Deshaun Watson, all his legal trouble. Hopefully that gets situated soon. Is DJ Chark playing for the Jags? We all know Travis Etienne is going to be out. James Robinson was a very, very dependable running back last year, so I didn't see the need to draft the running back so high. But if I'm not mistaken, they both went to Clemson, so maybe that might have something to do with it. I don't know. I'm just saying. Also, this will be Trevor Lawrence's first game in the NFL, and I know, he's won at every level, high school, college, middle school, probably whatever. So playing in the NFL, it probably won't get to him, and I do believe he will possibly be a better quarterback than Tyrod Taylor. But I think Tyrod Taylor's going to do a better job of taking care of the football than he will. So I'm going to go with the Texans 17-14, now this being a somewhat of a lackluster game. Next, we got Browns at Chiefs. Now, I really had the Chiefs winning this game to start off. I really did. But with a whole new offensive line, Odell Beckham being back, Baker needs to get this big contract. And in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons why I have the Browns edge in this game, Honey Badger will not be playing this game. Also, another quick thing. Is it time to start thinking about him going to the Hall of Fame, or is it too soon? Or maybe he needs one more. I don't know. But he was the deciding factor on me picking the Browns to win 27-24 in a very, very, very close ball game. But I would not be surprised if, the Chiefs ended up winning again. But next, we got Dolphins at Pats. I think this game is going to be pretty interesting. A tone setter for the division. A lot of people were big on Tua last year, and he had flashes. Also, a lot of people thought Ryan Fitzpatrick should have stayed in because he won a nice amount of games for him, and a lot of people didn't see the need to switch to Tua, but that's kind of what they went with. This will be the battle of the Alabama quarterbacks, as we both know. Mac Jones just left there, and Tua went there. Bill Belichick has a whole bunch of new toys to play with on offense. He got Hunter Henry, I'm not sure if he's playing. Judon Smith. Just he really upgraded the skill position for Mac Jones. Also, that running back room is always. They really do a running back by committee. I think they might run the ball 30 to 40 times a game, and no running back probably gets over 15 carries and probably is never gassed. So I like what they're doing with that. Also, Bill Belichick really doesn't lose at home like that a lot. And now he has all the guys coming back that sat out for COVID. So I got the Pats win 24-13, and I think it's going to be a very dominating win. Next, we got the Packers versus the Saints. It's in Florida. It's not in New Orleans, so there won't be any home field advantage for this game. Also, everybody's curious to see what Winston's going to look like after the eye surgery. I think that's going to be one of the biggest things about this game. Also, can the Saints receivers step up with Michael Thomas completely out? I know a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, well, he did it last year. Yeah, well, Kamara was there last year too, and he's there this year. But I think somebody's going to have to emerge in the meantime for this team to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to – either they're going to run Kamara into the ground or somebody's going to have to step up and make some nice plays. We don't know how long Will Lutz is out. I just think the Saints are starting this season off on a really, really bad foot as far as injuries and things like that. And it is the reigning MVP. So I have the Packers winning 28-24. Last game. No, not the last game yet. All right, we got the Bears at Rams. Andy Dalton should be a backup. Should be Justin Fields starting, but that's how they want to do it. I think a lot of people are hyping up Matt Stafford, and he's just going to have to show me. I really not that big on Matt Stafford, so we're going to have to see. But I think this game comes down to two gentlemen, Khalil Mack and Aaron Donald. Whoever has a better game, that's who's going to win. But my money's probably going to go with Aaron Donald because his defense is a lot better than the Bears, in my opinion. So I'm going with the Rams, 17-10, low-scoring game, nice physical game. And the last game, we got Ravens at Raiders. Who is Lamar throwing the ball to? Who is running the ball for Lamar? Two running backs out for the year. His number one first-round draft pick, Bateman, he's out for a couple weeks. Hollywood Brown's just coming back. Sam is just coming back. And realistically, those aren't two guys you really want to, have to count on in times of need. I think Sam is an incredible player, as well as Hollywood Brown. But I think we can all say that Sammy has been a little fragile in the past couple of years. He has been injury prone. So I'm going with the Raiders in the upset in this one, 24-21. That's my picks for the week. Man, y'all be blessed. Y'all stay tuned. We got a lot more things going on this year. See, we got some new cups. You know what I'm saying? And that's it, man. Y'all have a blessed day.